Chairman Nadler, and members of the House Judiciary Committee, I appreciate your taking the time to consider this issue, which is deeply concerning to the American people. On June 22nd of last year, this House of Representatives listened in horror to the sounds of children sobbing. They were begging to see their parents. They had been torn from their mothers. They had been put in cages, and they were weeping. Now, across the country, we heard the same desperate voices. How could this be happening in America? About 3,000 children were separated from their parents in this period. But the truth is, this is not a new problem. The sections 1325 and 1326 of Title VIII make illegal entry and illegal re-entry federal crimes. But until 2005, these laws were rarely prosecuted. Immigration was handled by immigration authorities. The Bush and later the Obama administrations began demanding prosecution of illegal entry. But both administrations allowed prosecutors to exercise discretion. They were not forced to prosecute parents or seekers of asylum. But on April 6, 2018, everything changed. Attorney General Sessions announced a new zero-tolerance policy that mandated criminal charges in all cases of illegal entry, regardless of parental status, regardless of asylum status. Now, the government is not allowed to hold children in criminal custody with parents, so the government began separating children from their families. Over a year later, despite a court order, the government still has not reunified thousands of these families. Children suffering anxiety, loss of appetite, sleeplessness, aggression, depression, self-harm, all inflicted by our tax dollars. Americans are horrified at the cruelty being carried out by our government with our money in our name. Prosecution for illegal entry is also deeply unfair to the people prosecuted, many of whom come to America seeking asylum, only to find yet more persecution. The law requires that they physically arrive before they can claim asylum, but illegal entry laws do not make an exception for them. Thus, under the law, a person seeking asylum can be prosecuted just for showing up and following the process. Now, as cruel as these effects are, as deeply as they offend the American character, we might think there was some strong argument for the criminal prosecution of illegal entry, but it's not so. Remember that undocumented immigrants commit crimes at a much lower rate than the rest of the population. Let me emphasize, out of concern for the safety of residents, it would make more sense to prosecute and deport citizens than undocumented immigrants. In fact, these prosecutions make us less safe. Over half of all federal criminal prosecutions are now immigration prosecutions. That's not for other crimes committed by immigrants. That's just for the so-called crime of showing up. Immigration enforcement is taking over the jobs of federal prosecutors, and analyses have shown we have good reason to question its effectiveness as a deterrent. Now, some may say that this is a problem of the executive branch. After all, it was presidential action that exploded this problem. But the truth is, our Constitution entrusts Congress, entrusts you, with setting the rules for immigration. As long as there is a crime on the books, presidents will seek political points by prosecuting the powerless and undeserving. As long as there is a crime on the books, prosecutors will jump to enforce it, but it falls to you to put that crime on the books or to take it off. And we ask you to take up that mantle of leadership. We ask you to repeal sections 1325 and 1326 of Title VIII and return immigration enforcement to civil law, where it belongs. Thank you.